Hey, it's Nay. Welcome to Hey Nay. Okay, so the topic for today is labels and dating. And this one is a good one. The Hey Nay writers gave me some really good questions. So here's the first one. Is there more pressure when you've been labeled as a couple before labeling yourselves? Definitely. And this happens so often. Like people who tend to hang around each other, a lot of people are like, oh, are you guys dating? Oh, are you guys dating? I mean, sometimes that can be a good thing because then it can push the person who may not necessarily be thinking, like if you're both not thinking that you're actually dating, it might make you think about it like, hey, maybe I should date this person or maybe we should be a couple. So there's benefits to it. Um, but if you're not, then it's kind of like things are going too fast or maybe we shouldn't spend as much time together because people are thinking a certain way. It is a struggle and there is more pressure because now you feel like you have to be together or you should be with that person, and that's not the case, especially if you're interested in that person but you're not yet committed to them. So like everyone's saying that, oh, you guys are a couple, oh, you guys are a couple, is pushing you towards commitment and exclusivity before you're even ready. So there's a lot of pressure, but I say, um, I'll say shut it down the second it happens. You don't have to publicly shut it down, but you could just tell the person, it's like, can you not say that? That's not exactly what we are. Or, or just ignore it. Don't let people phase you. The next question is, how do your individual labels of who you are change as you transition from being an I to a we? That is a good question. Because it does change, but that depends on you and that depends on your partner. So if the two of you become very, very clingy, then people label you together. They label you as one unit and that you guys are always doing this or you're always these type of people. And that can be both, that can be like a negative thing. I mean, it can be positive in some ways, but that tends to be negative. Because first of all, one, you should not be clingy like that. Let me just throw that out there. In case someone didn't know, I'm sure I mentioned it in a previous episode, but clinginess is just not, it's not healthy. It really isn't, because you lose your identity. And this is the case. You do this exact same thing when it comes to labels. How you define yourself gets morphed into the other person. You can't allow that to happen. Or you can do something what's called like a dual identity, in a sense that you have your own identity, but then you also have an identity as a couple, but it's equally shown. You get what I'm saying? One is not over clouding the other. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think I say just try not to lose yourself in a relationship. As long as you don't lose yourself in a relationship, the labels don't really affect you that much. The labels don't really change that much for you. How do stereotypes and other labels inform your choice in partners? This is key. Oh my gosh. So huge. All the time we do this. We do this all the time. We label people and we say like, oh, that's that type of person. Or she's too tall, or he's too thin, or she's, you know, she's from this area, or he was born here, or, um, you know, her hair's too short, or, um, you know, all these type of random things. I don't know. I can't even think any more stereotypes because I try to block stereotypes out of my mind. But those type of things are considered labels as well. And sometimes that impacts our judgment. Some people literally do not date certain people because of the stereotypes associated with them. And I think that's absurd. I think that's ridiculous. So I say the way we combat that is just by ignoring it. Ignoring it. Why are you letting certain things affect you? Oh my gosh. You know what I keep thinking of? I don't mean to get into it, but I keep thinking of the concept of jungle fever, about interracial relationships and things like that. And it's really, disgusting to me to think of the fact that certain people won't date a different race of won't date a different race because they're of afraid of how they be viewed or how they be affected by other people. And I just think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. How can you let society dictate who you should be with or who you should love? I just think that's crazy. So, you know, change only happens when we make the change. You know what I mean? And no one likes change until it changes. So, and I hope that makes sense to you, but essentially what I'm saying is that take control of your life. Stop letting people control it for you. Stop letting people dictate what you can and cannot do. We already live in a world of laws and ethics and things like that that are already ingrained in our society that is already hard to maneuver from. Why add additional laws and things like that from people from your peers or people in your family to affect who you like and who you don't like? Don't let the labels control you. You are who you say you are. Ooh, that was deep. I felt like I should end it right there, but we got more questions. Okay. Why do people constantly refer to their significant other by their label instead of their name? For example, my husband last night, instead of I went out with his name Mark. So like if the husband name is Mark, instead of saying that I went out with Mark last night, he's saying I went out with my husband last night. And they said, especially when the person you're talking to already knows who your husband is. So that's a good thing. People like certain labels too. We have to remember that. People like to call themselves something, or people like to call their significant other something. Using terms like husband and wife are like words that are powerful, especially to people who are single. So using those words shows like, hey, I've accomplished this, or hey, I've accomplished marriage. I'm with this person. I love this person so much. People want to They want to profoundly express their label. They want you to embrace their label. They want you to know their label. They don't want you to assume. They want to make sure you know it. And it is annoying. It can be annoying. It can be very annoying. But I would say, you mean Mark? Yeah, why are you saying that? I would confront them straight out with it because it is ridiculous and it's a little superficial. There's nothing wrong with saying it if the person doesn't know who the person is. But if I know for a fact who your person is, like my friend, if my friend is like, my girlfriend and I was doing this. No, I know who your girlfriend is. I see her every other week. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no need to say my girlfriend. There's no need to put that label with. I already know you're in a relationship. That's already established. You know what I mean? But some people like to do that. They like to either sometimes make you feel worse or just make themselves feel bigger. Okay, and the last question, which is a little funny. From a different perspective, someone interpreted the topic a little bit differently for this one. Does it annoy you if a significant other reads food labels of foods you eat and tells you all the bad chemicals you're about to ingest? So, yes, this is very funny, and I'm going to quickly explain. It can be annoying, but just think of the person looking out for you. Think of the person taking the time to want to make sure that you're okay and that you're healthy and that things are okay. I do think that their personal, I guess you can say, their personal well-being shouldn't be your personal well-being. So we need to find out what's best for you and not what they think is best for you. You get what I'm saying? It has to be a give and take. There has to be compromise. So maybe not necessarily reading the labels of everything you eat and drink, but just sort of, being open to it and saying like, hey, like, why don't we have something small today or something not too heavy? Things like that. You know what I mean? Those are like, cool suggestions in which like, hey, okay, yeah. I know people send it to me sometimes too, like friends of mine. I have like two friends who are like, I have two people I tend to see often who are vegetarians. And they're like, oh yeah, like, I don't really eat. So I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, yeah, mom, just have something light. And I might get a salad and things like that. So don't let, I guess you could say, don't let the labels on things to affect you either. Work with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, still, and this kind of goes to the general topic too. Take control. You know what I mean? Take control. But just be mindful that that person's just looking out for you. Okay? Again, there's labels everywhere, and it's hard for us to really stop them. But like I said, you define who you are. So who you are is who you should be. Cool? All right. Thanks for watching. Like, share, love, comment, and remember to always start your day off with a hey. Goodbye.